Hey guys, I figured I'd quick do a video, and this one's not really going to be talking about a specific book, but instead a recent book haul. It's kind of a conglomeration of numerous little purchases here and there. I already talked about Erik Larson's Dead Wake that I picked up, but there have been several other books that I've gotten recently, and I'll do a quick book haul, I guess. For starters, surprisingly, I don't already own this. If you know me, you know that I have this weird, strange interest in the concept of time. And for once, I finally added A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking to my collection. So once I finish the book I'm currently reading, I'm hoping to delve into this one pretty soon. I'm surprisingly not entirely familiar with Stephen Hawking's writing. I've leafed through this looking at it, and it's very readable, so, you know, even though he's talking about physics and stuff, I think I'll be able to understand a lot of it, so, if not all of it. So, I'm excited about that. Another recent purchase would be, let me find it real quick, The Serbs by Tim Judah. It's the history, myth, and the destruction of Yugoslavia. This is because of a lot of recent events going on in the Ukraine. I grabbed this book to learn more about what's going on in the Balkans region, in the Baltic region, in Russia, and the entire region surrounding the Ukraine. I already have plenty of books about the history of Russia. I have some books about the Baltics, believe it or not. But for some reason, I didn't have much about the Balkans. Of course, I had to rectify that. This is just one of numerous other books that I got about the region. This one's focusing on the history of the Serbians, but I also have some on the Croatians, the Bosnians, and that entire region and how it was torn to pieces in the late 90s, and it's been plagued with a whole bunch of war through its history, from especially coming out of the Ottoman Empire. I'm focusing on this is because you know, although I need to look into some of the history of Romania, you'll notice in the Ukraine a lot of the fighters are actually coming from this region, the former Yugoslavia region, and as mercenaries fighting in this pretty much civil war there. So I'm trying to get a better idea, because the media is not providing any real context, what is fueling all this. So that's where that book comes into play. Yesterday, moving on anyway, yesterday I managed to finally get myself out to the used bookstore, and I was able to pick up several books that I'm surprised I didn't already have. One I'm actually quite excited about, kind of goes along with the Stephen Hawking book, and that is, let me grab that one, it's kind of a big one. It's called On Time, How America Has Learned to Live by the Clock, by Carleen Stevens. I'm also excited to read this one. This is my big purchase at the used bookstore. Usually I don't spend over $7 on a used book, but this was in a whopping $20, but its regular retail price is about $45, so, you know, I'm excited to look into this. This is not really a philosophical or physics perspective on time. This is just how our culture has become dominated by time, from the railroad system and everything. And even right now, we're trying to debate if we still want to have daylight savings time or not. So, and all that. So, this is a different perspective of time. And believe it or not, I don't have a book that really covers time in this regard. I have several books talking about time and how it plays its role in culture and stuff. And not quite like this one, so I was excited to grab this. It was the only one there, and I'm glad I seen it. And let me set that one down. And I'm back. Another book I grabbed, and I'm kind of familiar with this author, but for once I have a collection of his essays. Saul Bellow's It All Adds Up. This, as we know, he's a Nobel Prize winner for literature for, I forget the name of the book, but I got this because recently I'm on kind of a Saul Bellow kind of fixation, so and I remember reading Herzog a couple years ago, and it was very enjoyable. I'm looking forward to reading some of his other work, and so I seen this sitting on the shelf. I had to grab it. It was only a few bucks, but I'm looking forward to reading that. Another one I picked up, and it's just, let's face it, a beautiful edition. I don't have much of Jane Austen to begin with. I think the only other Jane Austen book I have is Pride and Prejudice, and like the kind of cheaper mass market paperback edition. So I was able to grab Emma in this nice, beautiful hardcover edition, and I am looking forward to reading that. This is just spectacular. So it's a classic library. They do have more classics in this type of hardback format. Unfortunately, I didn't pick them up because this is about the only classic in this format that they had there that I didn't already previously own. I try not too much to double up on a lot of my books, even if I find them in a nicer edition, with few exceptions. But yeah, so I was glad to pick up Emma by Jane Austen. I'll probably get to reading this some year from now. I'm so bad when it comes to reading some classics, but still, this I'm actually quite happy about getting. And my next one, excuse me again. Okay, there's a story behind this. There's an antique mall not too far from my house, and I'm not really into poetry, but a certain book caught my eye a couple years ago, and I really enjoy it. It's very uncharacteristic of me to not only enjoy this particular book, but the content matter. And that book I picked up a couple years ago was called Cowboy Poetry, A Gathering. And yeah, the poems are just kind of, they're pretty cool, I think. But the thing about this is, if you look inside, you'll realize there are numerous editions of this cowboy poetry in here, if I can find it. Anyway, so I've had this for a couple years, and I never really pursued looking for the other editions that go along with this. So yesterday I'm at the used bookstore, different store than where I got this one, and I come across cowgirl poetry. And it says on the cover it's 100 years of writing and rhyming. The thing is, a majority of these poems were written in the late 90s. There's probably one or two that were written in the early 1900s. I'm talking 1920s and 1930s, but the majority of them were written in the 1990s. So, yeah, but still, I'm kind of looking forward to this. The poems in cowboy poetry have a much larger range as far as when they were first written and stuff. So some are more recent, some are very old, and that's what makes this one so enjoyable. I'm hoping that I'll encounter the same type of enjoyment out of cowgirl poetry. But yep, so that's my recent book haul, and I have a few others coming via Amazon, so maybe I'll do another video about that. And once I finally finish The People in the Trees, which I have about 120 pages to go, maybe I'll do a video about that. And until next time, have a good one. Bye.